to 6 and 6, where we cover 6 stories from around the world in 6 minutes or less. With that said, start your timer. We begin today in South America, where climate change and volcanic activity are dramatically increasing the risk of a catastrophic glacier icefall in Chile, particularly in the Maipo Valley. If I'm mispronouncing it, sorry, Chile. This environment and these factors threaten the country's critical freshwater reserves and pose significant risks to local communities. Scientists are urgently calling for enhanced monitoring and research to prevent potential disaster. From Reuters, quote, Chile's glaciers, which store some of the nation's most vital water reserves, face unprecedented threats due to the intensified effects of climate change. The situation is further complicated by volcanic activity around these glaciers, which acts as a dual threat factor of potential ice falls. End quote. Next, we travel across the Atlantic to Africa, where Joseph Boakai, a former Liberian vice president running for president in 2025, publicly apologized to victims of Liberia's civil war, which killed approximately 250,000 people between 1989 and 2003. He emphasized the critical importance of national reconciliation and healing, acknowledging the deep historical wounds inflicted during the conflict. From Reuters, quote, as we stand here today, look back at our painful history, we want to humbly extend my heartfelt apologies to all the victims and survivors of our tragic civil war. These dark chapters in our nation's past have left deep scars in our collective soul, and it is imperative that we confront these wounds with sincerity and a commitment to healing, said the candidate, end quote. Now, jumping back across the Atlantic to a Mexico-U.S. story, quote, the U.S. Treasury Department has extended sanctions against 3 Mexican financial institutions until 2025, targeting entities suspected of facilitating the illegal fentanyl drug trade. This strategic move aims to disrupt financial networks supporting the drug cartels and address the ongoing opioid crisis. The extended sanctions represent a financial pressure tactic designed to isolate and penalize institutions believed to be laundering money for the narco-trafficking cartel. From Reuters, quote, the extended sanctions reflect a strategic initiative to cut off funding channels that sustain these illicit activities and pressurize Mexican counterparts to take more stringent actions, U.S. Treasury Department statement said. Next, we jump to the other side of the world in South Korea. Former South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol is set to attend a court hearing to determine if a detention warrant will be issued against him. Prosecutors have accused him of illegally accepting illegal funds from businesses and political favors during his tenure. The case is part of a broader anti-corruption investigation that could have significant political implications for South Korea. From Reuters, quote, prosecutors allege that Yoon received illicit donations totaling millions of dollars from several conglomerates. Yoon's camp has staunchly denied the allegations, describing the investigation as politically motivated, end quote. And next we travel all the way down to Australia, where the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission will not oppose Lucas's acquisition of Fonterra's Australian assets. Fonterra, a New Zealand dairy giant, is selling its Australian business as part of a strategic review. The ACCC determined the deal would not substantially reduce market competition. Lactalis, a French dairy corporation, will significantly expand its presence in the Australian market through this purchase. From Reuters, quote, we have considered the impact of the sale on competition in various markets within and outside the state where Lactalis and Fonterra currently operate. We will recognize that the concerns of some market participants and suppliers. Our analysis did not indicate that the amalgamation of these two entities would lead to a substantial lessening of competition, end quote. And finally, we go across the pond, but further away from Australia, to the UK, where Labour leader Keir Starmer is planning a strategic summit with the French president Emmanuel Macron to address illegal migration challenges in the English Channel. Starmer aims to demonstrate labor's diplomatic capabilities by seeking collaborative solutions and establishing practical agreements with France. From Reuters, quote, Starmer's approach represents a shift from previous strategies, as he indicates that durable collaboration with neighboring countries is crucial for addressing the shared challenges of migration. He stresses the importance of combining considerate policymaking with enforceable agreements, aiming to constructively engage with France as a primary partner, end quote. And if you want to read any of today's articles, the entirety of them, they'll be linked in the description below that like and subscribe button. Also down there, you can find the podcast on Spotify, Pocket Cast, Podvine, as well as the Twitter handle at Your Daily Flip, where I post links to these episodes that come out on Tuesday and Thursday, as well as the normal podcast that's more America-focused that come out on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So, with all that said, there's only one more thing to say. Stay safe. Don't die.